Paul Hendrix was ejected from the most games out of all my teammates.
Yeah, I've calmed down. I've
yeah, you seem nice and calm and collected now, but
I've learned not to care as much because, especially in select and the high school stuff, like they're just not good at all.
yeah. I mean, umping something that's challenging. I made a remark. I don't know if you heard it earlier when you were talking about umpires getting better at different levels, and I was like, yeah, but they still suck.
But man, example, I had a 13-year-old team and we tried to turn double play. The kid ran from first straight through second, didn't slide, ran through second like you run through first. And so I calmly walked out there and was like, hey, that's interference. And he was like, no, it's not. Like, he has to slide or get out of the way. No, he doesn't.
Wow.
And then he proceeded to tell me he teaches umpiring professionally and has been for 10 years. And I was like, well, you're teaching it wrong because that's a rule.
Casa, make yourself at home, do your do. Welcome to my pad, this your lab, go create your move.
What's good, everybody? It's 99 Miles Per Hour Podcast with me, your host, Perci Garner. And we got a teammate in the building as a guest today. Well, I guess not in the building, they're in Texas. But we'll get to the guest here in a second. I want to touch on a few things. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you subscribe. We're like 700 subscriptions away from 1,000. We want to get there, so help us out. Make sure you like it if you enjoy the episode. Do not give us a thumbs down. Just don't do anything if you don't like it. Make sure you leave a comment. And we might pick something that Paul says. Oh, dang, I gave away my guest. It's not a surprise anymore. But whatever, we'll talk about something he says, and we'll make sure we mention you, remind you to comment down below. Also, check out the merch. The link will be in the description. And then also, I'm going to be starting up my pitching lessons soon, I swear. I know I said after Labor Day, but it's coming. And then also, if you are interested in me being a speaker at an event, just hit me up on all the social medias. Don't have an official email yet that I want you to contact because I got some private stuff. So, but without further ado, did I get everything, Josh? Yeah, subscribe. All right, without further ado, let's get to our guest today. So this guy was a former teammate of mine, drafted in 2013 in the 18th round. We got an actually funny story about that we're going to get into, by the Cleveland Indians, and your Cleveland Indians if you're from Ohio. Most of the people who watch the show are from Ohio. So this person now is a lot smarter than me and is working for an IT company, and we're going to talk about cybersecurity a little bit. But without further ado, let's get to the guest, Paul Hendrix. How we doing, Paul?
Oh, I'm doing great. Glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Oh, yeah, no problem, man. I mean, you're at your place of work now, right?
Yeah, I took over one of the little conference rooms we got at the building. Nice.
You got a lot of windows. It looks like a nice office. I'm kind of jealous. It looks a little bit different. I have a house that I think was built in 1960, and everything was donated, which I'm grateful, but it doesn't look that nice. But I'm sure you enjoy the office. And I mean, Texas, it looks like you guys are like Ohio and everything's open. Everyone's at the office. No remote workers?
No, not for us. The main headquarters is actually in California, and they're all at the office too.
Oh, wow.
So, essential workers.
Gotcha. Oh, yeah, the essentials. What is your company name again?
Planet Magpie.
Planet Magpie. Okay.
Magpie like the bird.
Gotcha. So they're out of California. I did not know that.
Yes. So they started it here. My boss, Robert, he started it out there. Just kind of expanded all over the place, looking to expand in Charlotte as well, South Carolina. So. Wow.
Okay. And what do you guys specialize in?
We just kind of, do a little bit of everything, just your typical MSP or a managed service provider. Yeah. Just take care of, day-to-day issues, up to, installing a bunch of equipment for a new building or whatever y'all are doing, basically. Gotcha. Pretty much cover it all.
Okay. And for those who are from Tuscarawas County, basically a bigger Pioneer 360. No offense, Pioneer 360. I love you guys, but yeah, that's awesome. And I know you just got your degree. What was your degree in?
General studies.
Oh, general studies. Okay, you're like me. You're like me.
I did 3 years of like communication studies, and then I was just trying to finish it up. So finished it online after baseball and got general studies. And then just was while I was finishing, I did the technical school for IT and got a bunch of certs and things like that.
Gotcha. Yeah. So you us baseball players, when we want to finish our degrees, we want to take the path of least resistance because we're in our high 20s and 30s. We want to get the education. I'm doing the same thing, and I graduate in December. I'm excited. But congratulations to you, man. You're starting your life after your baseball career, and you it's a whole nother life. But I mean, you're engaged now, and you got your cybersecurity certs and stuff. That's what I'm kind of interested in. We'll touch on a lot of that stuff too. But I also want to kind of just let's talk about the engagement just a tad. So I mean, how'd you get on the knee and do it? Were you watching one of my episodes and decided to, give her the ring?
No. So, was planning on doing it, and finally just kind of took the time out to plan when I was going to do it and find the ring. And it actually didn't take too long for the ring, so I got lucky on that end.
Nice.
But then took her to the Fort Worth Botanical Garden. She had been wanting to go there. And so it was kind of easy for me to get her there without her realizing anything was going on. I actually had a backup plan too, because all throughout the week, right, it was like, oh, clear skies, no problems. Friday rolls, it's like rain Saturday. I'm like, oh, this could be great. And because it's outside. And so luckily, it was actually turned out to be a really good day for the pictures and stuff because it's not too bright. It was just cloudy and the rain held off. And so I had a bunch of like friends and family and stuff at the house waiting for us when we got done.
Oh, that's what's up.
I took her to this little bridge in like the Japanese garden area. It's really nice. And so it's like a good backdrop. And I took her across. It's like a little stone walkway basically. And I'm like, go across. And she's like, you're not going to push me on or you're like, push me off. Are you into the water? I was like, no. And I like pushed her onto the walkway. I'm like, get on the walkway. And so she gets on and she's like booking it across. And I'm like, hey, wait, where are you going? She like turns around. I drop to a knee. I was like, this is why I really brought you here. Blah, blah, blah.
Oh, that's what's up.
She actually kind of dropped to her knees too. It was kind of funny. It's like, what are you doing? She goes, she actually said, she was like, what are you doing? There's people around. Like, okay.
Yeah, we're in public. We're not in our house. So.
Crazy.
Oh, man. I mean, that's better than the way I proposed. But, mom was kind of special, but I might save that for a different episode. But that's awesome, though, man. Spending times in the locker room, it's kind of funny hearing how different people propose and stuff like that. But, Maria and Eric have another baby. They got like 12 kids now.
Man, I talked to him a couple of weeks ago, or a few weeks ago, probably.
Really?
My dad had sent me a text about him hitting a grand slam, so I hit him up.
Yeah.
I was like, man, how's the kid? And he's like, one. I got like 3 now. Like, jeez.
He's putting in work, but that's what's up, man. But yeah, Eric's another teammate of ours who's now playing with the Tigers, and I think he hit a home run against the Indians the other day, or the Guardians. But playing for the Indians, I guess we could talk about that for a split second. How do you feel about that name?
I think it's terrible, to be honest. Like, I get it. You got the Guardians on the bridge, but come on. It's not very, I don't know. It's not very like big league, like major league name,
Yeah. And the logo looks kind of cartoonish too. So, but hey, what can you do? We did talk about them. I hope they got the name because there was some stuff going on that I covered in one of my previous episodes. Hopefully that went fine. We'll see if they have to pay that roller derby team like a couple million to get that name, but we'll see.
Yeah, actually, some of the spring training shirts and things like that I've got with Chief Wahoo on it, I'll keep those for a long time.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, so I talked about you being drafted 18th round, and I didn't know this until we were chatting before we started the show. And tell us a little bit about the story on your draft night.
Yeah, so actually my scout that was in my area, that talks to everybody, you know how that goes. He was telling me in spring training one year that they actually like messed up. There's another dude with the same last name. I don't remember if it was spelled the same or not, but the guy that like took up the name to whoever's announcing it took up the wrong Hendrix. And so by the time they realized it was too late, so I got drafted a round later than they were trying to.
That's funny. You never hear stories about the draft like that. I wonder if that happens more often. I've never heard anything like that. But no, I mean, obviously being drafted, it's our dreams and everything. And then it came true for you. And then, we ended up playing together and we got to enjoy baseball. And, I think some people understand because they're talking to players and players are sharing more now with social media and all that. But just talk about how you thought, baseball, professional baseball and minor league baseball and what that grind was like, because I was a pitcher for every part of my career. I don't know why I said for most of it, but I was a pitcher. And, obviously I complained about the schedule, but I played like once every 3 or 4 days. So you being an everyday player, I mean, just what was that? How did your body feel? What was that grind about?
Oh, man. At first, obviously, like you're loving it, right? You're so excited. Everything's good. You don't really feel the body fatigue too much, especially that first year. It's only, 2.5 months?
Yeah, and you're only 21, so.
Yeah, and so you're out there just having a blast, trying to figure it out. It's actually quite a big learning curve on like how to prepare because you're there all day at the field, so you got to kind of figure it out and then do whatever, your routine, right? You got to find your routine. And then after a couple of years, it's like, dang, the August and stuff rolls around in it. And they call it the dog days.
Baby.
It ain't no lie. Your body is just killing you all the time. So it's always nice to have a good manager to like give you a few show and goes here and there and things like that, where you can just show up to the field right before game time, get ready.
Our manager didn't do that often when we played on the same team, but we won't talk about that.
He never did that. For some reason, his show and goes were like, be here 3 hours before, we're going to take BP and do it. I'm like, dude, that's not a show and go, bud. That's
definitely not. But I mean, I can't complain too much. Like, again, I was just chilling in the dugout, getting fat, eating chocolate. So,
well, I pitched my last year. That was worse than playing.
You thought it was?
I was so bored. Like, dang, can I get out of the bullpen? Like, I want to play. Well, every day to like, once every 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, I mean, that was your strongest point though as a baseball player. Wouldn't you say your arm strength and you played third and short, which obviously require arm strength. And were you always just blessed with arm when you were younger? Did you pitch when you were younger?
Yeah, I pitched all the way through high school, and then. They just didn't need me to in college. Just wanted me to focus on short.
And you went to TCU. You went to TCU.
Yeah, I went to TCU for a year after junior college. I actually made huge strides in getting a lot better at junior college. I know a lot of kids. I hear a lot of kids now when I'm coaching and stuff. They're like, "Well, I don't want to go to junior college." Like, I don't think they really understand like how much benefit it is to go, play another couple years and get a lot more training and everything like that.
For sure, because baseball is a lot of skill. It's not just like, hey, go run faster than the other guy, go jump higher than the other guy. It's technique and skill that you got to learn from rep after rep after rep, and that's why we're at the field all day for like 10 to 12 hours just playing baseball. And that was foreign to me, but I mean, once you get adjusted, especially for pitchers throwing every day, I would sometimes take days off in college, but they're like, no, pro ball, we throw every day. So I was like, oh gosh. Yeah. But no, man, I mean, obviously we've kept a relationship going, because, obviously being in I was around you more than I was my family playing baseball. So, I mean, we got pretty close and, playing video games together and then just grinding minor league ball together. I do want to ask you one question. I don't think I've ever asked you is, hitting wise, like college versus pro, or you can even do JUCO to TCU to the professional level. Like, what were the difference you thought? Or were you just kind of focusing on what you were doing? Or, cause for me, I would say probably pitching and, not worried about your head getting blown off by a fastball at certain levels.
Yeah. So junior college is kind of like low-level minor leagues where some people have no clue where the ball is going, right? And it all depends on the school you're playing and things like that. And then it obviously gets better once you get up like TCU, D1 and all that, being in the Big 12, a lot better. The umps get better as well.
I mean, they're still bad.
So you start getting around the zone, but then you go to Yeah, because you go to play the top schools and they've got the top pitchers.
Yeah.
So they're all pretty consistent around the zone and things. And then you go to the minor leagues and it kind of goes backwards. Then low levels, it starts getting sporadic again. And you're like, somebody will throw one at your head and then the next three will paint the corner. And you're like, this is fun. I'm not trying to get my head taken off. But, I think to a degree, it gets easier in a sense of they're more around the zone. So you're all, you can be more ready and know they're going to be around the zone. You don't have to worry about getting hit in the head.
Yeah, you can be more aggressive. I think of a good example of that is Francisco Lindor. Like in the minor leagues, he was known for just his defense. And he would hit like 240, 250, 260 with, 3 to 6 home runs a year. And then he gets to the major league level and he's hitting 30 home runs and batting 320 and 330. So obviously he's struggling a little bit this year, but that explains why people, they're expecting the ball in a certain spot and they know they're going to get it there eventually because these are, big league pitchers who are, trained to throw strikes and trained to be around the zone all the time. So, just a quick story. I know Roy Halladay, I saw him pitch against Nick Swisher. And obviously Roy Halladay had, rest in peace, but he had one of the best controlled pitchers ever. Yeah. And he used to throw that front hip two seam and he threw it to Swish and Swish actually swung and hit it foul. So then Roy Halladay had to purposely hit him to get him off the plate and respect that pitch just because, Roy Halladay is not going to be sporadic and throw one crazy. So they were just super comfortable in the bullpen in the batter's box. And, Roy had to hey bro, get off my ball.
Yeah.
I guess that didn't come out right. Get off my pitch. I'm sorry. Get off my ball.
Yeah.
Just edit that out, Josh. No.
there's some though I'm glad I'm not hitting anymore. Like Jordan Hicks throws 105 and it runs about 7 feet. I'm not trying to get in the box with that.
Yeah, man. I thought I threw a firm sinker, but these guys are out of control, man.
It's how do you hit that?
You just got to hope he walks you. I feel like if I was a hitter and the dude was throwing 105 mile an hour sinkers, I would probably just be like, all right, bro, just don't throw a strike. No. I feel like that's what they used to do against Zach Britton. You just got to hope, he walks you because he was throwing 99 mile an hour curveballs, it looked like. So
I don't even know. I couldn't tell you what that was.
But no, man, obviously playing baseball together and stuff growing up, obviously that was, great. And I say growing up, but you know what I mean, maturing as a man.
Oh, yeah.
And then it leads you to your next step. Obviously, retire from baseball. I think after me or around the same time. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. But
17 was the last year.
Okay, so I played in 18, so it was about the same time. So we started to, kind of come into the business world after the fact. And, we're both on the same path. I'm going to be graduating with a minor in IT because of the whole taking 7 years off and then come back to school and not actually being able to get the major that I wanted, but I wasn't going back to school for 3 more years again. So now you graduating and then getting your certifications, and you have a certification in cybersecurity, right?
Security Plus. It's kind of on that route.
Gotcha. Now, obviously being an IT support at your current job now, just, talk about how, because I know a lot of people, like my uncle just got hacked and, being remote work, I know people were preying on that. And, at the office, not everybody signed into a VPN. Sorry if I'm talking nerdy talk to my audience, but VPN just is a virtual private network. Don't worry about it if you don't know what it is. But, when you're at home, you're just on a normal internet connection most of the time. And, you're vulnerable. Have you seen anything like that, being at your job? I know you haven't been there like an incredibly long time, but, I'm just kind of curious about, how smart the residents of the Texas state are.
Nothing like, major or anything. Honestly, the biggest weakness in cybersecurity is us. If you're not, if you don't know what's going on with things, then you're the biggest weakness, right? You'll just give things away without realizing it. Or, the biggest targeted thing is phishing, right? Emails.
Yeah. And
they look real, but if you look at them, if you really look at them, most words are misspelled. There's some kind of indication that it's not a legit email. Like a lot of times we get customers will send in a ticket and be like, hey, what's this? Should I do this? And then be a phishing email. It's from they're spoofing their email address. Basically, maybe it's from like an email that looks like the company email, but the sender's name, because it shows you the name and the email address. The name is like some random name that has no affiliation with that company, but the email address is like a company email. So a lot of times they'll just start clicking on things.
Yeah.
And that's when they get like username and password or access to the computer, and then they can just jump through and start working their way up through the network.
Then it gets bad then.
That's when it gets bad.
And I consider myself smart in knowing what to do in those situations, but my Twitter was hacked last year, so I have no room to talk. And I basically gave all my information over. And my excuse is they did a really good job of acting like they were Instagram support. They had a check mark by their name and everything. They had the logo, and they looked like that. And I actually gave them, some information, and they ended up like taking over my Instagram and Twitter. But I got my Instagram back, and it was just a terrible, terrible experience. But my uncle, he's Amazon now, and that's got money involved. I wasn't worried about money, but my check mark and my verified account was in danger, and I needed that. But I mean, I'm trying to think, because I kind of wanted to go into cybersecurity, but it's I mean, you may think it's easy, but for me and for a lot of this stuff, I was asking people, I was like, I don't know if I want to do all that. So
no, it's not easy. I mean, it's going to take some work and things like that. There's still some things. Obviously, a ton of things I still need to learn for cybersecurity and stuff like that. But
yeah, I mean, how long you been at your current job right now?
Just over 4 months.
Oh, okay, nice. And I mean, for me, I always I thought IT was what I wanted to work at, and I worked at Xerox, and we were selling IT and stuff like that, but we weren't like exclusively MSP or managed service provider. And I thought that was my dream job, but then obviously I'm led here where I'm at now at the Rainbow Connection. But I guess to describe for people, like for someone who doesn't know anything about an MSP, but like, and I know you touched on it a little bit earlier, but just describe quickly to a novice, why they would need a managed service provider, whether it be for a small business or a big business.
Well, one, just like I was talking about earlier with the emails and the phishing, we have a service that we use that we put in place. And so it basically filters out all those spam emails and phishing emails and all kinds of things like that. Now, every now and then one will slip through or something like that. But, a huge percentage of them are getting, captured, and they're just getting quarantined, and they don't ever get through.
Hey, don't use that word. No, I'm joking. No, you're good.
But, basically we just kind of know the ins and outs of everything that goes on with the network, with, how the emails work, all the accounts and things like that. So say you locked yourself out of your computer, right? No, we can just jump into your AD server and reset the password or unlock it for you.
And that's Active Directory is AD, right?
Yeah, Active Directory. Sorry.
You're good. Yeah. Someone might know who's watching, but.
So, basically we just watch over like day-to-day work over the computer. So if anything goes wrong, like printer acts up, we fix it. We'll jump on, help out, fix it, whatever we need to do.
And then of course, if you purchase new buildings, and you need Ethernet routing and.
Yeah, we'll run the cables, get the internet set up, right? They wouldn't have to deal with calling AT&T and getting the internet. We'll get on the phone with them. Oh. We'll make sure they get out there in a timely manner and get on them if they don't, and make sure the circuit gets put in, make sure they get a firewall put in so that, unwanted traffic doesn't get into their network and things like that. So.
Gotcha. So it's a lot of stuff that sometimes people don't think they need until they need it.
Exactly right.
I mean, that's cool, man. And I know, I'm on, nerd level, and, I don't know how what they're thinking about watching, this episode. But for me, this is helpful information for people who are still remote working, or just even if at your company, just having a knowledge of how to handle certain situations and not put your company's information in danger. But I mean, like, do you have like a goal of what you want to do with, starting at this job? Do you want to, climb the ladder here and or do you, obviously we're both nerds and we love doing the IT support and being actually working with our hands and actually experiencing it and working with the customer. But, where do you see yourself going, in the future?
Honestly, I see myself staying here with them, we do a lot of different things, right? And I'm still at the entry level, if you want to call it that, like learning all this stuff. So there's still a ton of growth for me to do, and different things I can start, different tasks and things like that I can start taking over as I gain the knowledge and improve myself in that way. So, and cybersecurity as well. Something I've always liked to do or thought would be a lot of fun to do would be like penetration testing. So we actually do a sort of like type of that as well. It's called a Qualis scan. So it's not as intrusive as like an actual pen test, but it still kind of does the same job. So that'd be something cool if I could get to, take that over as well.
Gotcha. And I know this stuff scares people, but I think it's fascinating, and just the more knowledge you have, the better you're off. So, and it's only going to get worse as we go. There's going to be more technologies being created, and obviously this stuff is going to be pivotal whether you're at home. I feel like people are going to be starting to get protection at home now, so you never know. We'll see what happens with that. But
I want to put a firewall on my home network.
Yeah. I mean, I saw. I'm not familiar too much with until I started at Rainbow and noticed that the firewall could slow your internet down, but it's doing a job. So I'd rather have slightly slower internet and never be attacked or have my whole life's photos be stolen or have my information held for ransom. That's the scariest thing for me. Ransomware is so scary.
That's been a huge industry this year. Like companies are literally creating ransomware companies because of how much money they make.
Dang.
If they execute. There was a big MSP that got hit.
Really?
I can't remember the name of them. Yeah, they got hit and locked up a bunch of their stuff with ransomware, and a bunch of the companies got infected.
Oh, that's scary.
We went into kind of panic mode and started making sure, two-factor authentication was enabled for everything.
Yeah. We were forced to do that at our organization because we had someone get hacked too. So it's never fun. It sucks. And you're just like, come on, people. Why do you need to sit around hacking people? But hey.
And just so everybody knows, hacking you see in movies, not how it works. Not at all. That's not it at all.
Dang it. All right. I knew that, So.
But you know how it is. They portray it and they're just like slamming away at the keyboard. Like,
yeah.
It's not how it goes.
Oh, you know what? It slipped my mind, Josh. But anyways, we'll get to that. But before I want to briefly talk about, kind of what I do in my community and kind of see if that's something you're going to be getting involved in once you get, solidified, at your company. I think getting involved in the community, there's plethora of ways you can do that. But I always like to ask people this, and then we're going to do the fast questions. But before we do that, I would like to thank today's sponsor, Subway. I was supposed to do that after we talked about the current events, but I got carried away with the cybersecurity and baseball. We appreciate the Fitzgerald family and Subway, the local Subways here in Tuscarawas County and beyond, because without you, the show wouldn't be possible. So thank you guys. I got my cooking here, and I'm trying out the new Cali Fresh steak sandwich, and it's pretty amazing. I just got everything that was in there. I didn't even personalize it. And I might start getting all these vegetables now because it tastes good. So, again, thank you to Subway. And, let's go back. Let's get into the community involvement and where do you see yourself, kind of getting your hands in. Do you guys have a big brothers, big sisters around there? Because I know you're in a big area in Texas, a little different from a little small town, Dover. But because you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
Like Dallas or something like that.
Everything's bigger in Texas. But yeah, do you see yourself, contributing into, obviously being at a company like yourself and, being involved with customers, and that goes a long way when they see you in the community doing stuff. So, I urge you, do you have plans to do it already? Or you just kind of, got your head down and learning the job and then, maybe that in the future?
Yeah, I think for IT and things like that, that'd be in the future. While I'm still learning and growing. I guess you could call it community work. I do summer select league coaching. I give lessons in the evenings and things like that, molding young minds and teaching them really teaching them how to play, but also how to like handle, tough situations, which they can obviously, as translate into real life.
Yeah, of course. I before I get into Fast 5 though, I feel like, or whatever I'm calling it, Fast 9. I just want to share some. Shut up, Josh. I just want to share something about Paul that people might not know. Paul Hendrix was ejected from the most games out of all my teammates.
Yeah, I've calmed down.
Yeah, you seem nice and calm and collected now, but
I've learned not to care as much because, especially in select and the high school stuff, like they're just not good at all.
yeah. I mean, umping something that's challenging. I made a remark. I don't know if you heard it earlier when you were talking about umpires getting better at different levels, and I was like, yeah, but they still suck.
But man, example, I had a 13-year-old team and we tried to turn double play. The kid ran from first straight through second, didn't slide, ran through second like you run through first. And so I calmly walked out there and was like, hey, that's interference. And he was like, no, it's not. Like, he has to slide or get out of the way. No, he doesn't.
Wow.
And then he proceeded to tell me he teaches umpiring professionally and has been for 10 years. And I was like, well, you're teaching it wrong because that's a rule. So after that, I'm just like, you know what? These guys are bad.
I know the job's hard. Umping is hard. You got to make a split decision, whatever, and you got to. But just be better. But no, I just thought I'd share that about you because I mean it was funny. It was never, I was never like. I don't know. Obviously, you were upset in those situations, but it was just always funny to see you. It sounds bad, but it was always funny to see you get pissed off. But
when he says the most, I only got thrown out twice max in a year.
So really? It seemed like you were thrown out like 35 times. Yeah,
you feel like that, right? It was only maximum in a year was twice.
Okay, maximum in a year, but over your career it's probably 35. No. But man, I do want to thank you, even though I'm gonna thank you again, but I appreciate you coming on the show. Obviously you got a new fiance to go back to, and I'm just holding you hostage at your job. But before we end this, I want to do some fast questions real quick because I feel like you're gonna give us some different answers than we're used to hearing. And I got some special questions for you that I've never asked anyone else. They're not crazy doozies, but I know we're gonna get different answers for these, so I thought I'd ask them. So I know we're talking about Subway. I love Subway, and I hate to bring up other names, but what's your favorite fast food restaurant?
Fast food? Probably Chick-fil-A is probably the one I eat most.
Oh, okay. I was hoping for a Whataburger. or
for sure, I do like Whataburger, but I think I eat Chick-fil-A more than that. I think it's just more conveniently located by house.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So
I just know Whataburger. Wasn't Whataburger made in Texas, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. So, actually, what were you about to say?
Fun fact, Patrick Mahomes is opening 33 Whataburgers up in Missouri, I believe.
Wow. Okay. And I've had it twice, and I thought it was amazing. I thought, this is, if anybody out west is listening, I thought it was better than In-N-Out. Don't shoot me. But
it's not even, it's way better than In-N-Out.
Ooh, okay. Next question. Favorite car?
Like of all time or?
Yeah, just whatever. Anytime.
69 Camaro.
Ooh, good year. Okay.
Old school muscle.
I'm sorry. Got you. How do I want to word this question? Favorite piece of technology?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'd say I use my cell phone the most, but man,
I know you miss your PC.
Yeah, I miss my computer. I do. I think I'd have to say just like PC, especially when you build it yourself because it's so versatile and you can upgrade it. You can do.
Yeah, I'm due for an upgrade, by the way. Krista, if you're listening, please let me upgrade my computer. What about favorite video game of all time?
Of all time, Halo. Not even close.
I knew that was going to be coming. New Halo coming out, by the way.
Yeah, I'm getting it. I don't care what she says.
All right. Let's do a few more. Favorite place in Texas?
Like
let's do city and then landmark or something like that.
Fort Worth for sure. City.
Boo, Murder Worth. Go ahead.
Come down here and you'll see.
You're trying to get me to move down there. If I told you, if anything, I'm moving into Chip and Joanna's house, one of their houses in Waco. No, I'm joking.
You don't want to move to Waco.
I don't. Is it cheap?
Favorite like landmark or whatever. The stockyards is always a lot of fun to go to.
Okay.
The historic stockyards.
Historic stockyards?
Yeah, it's in downtown Fort Worth, or one of the downtown areas of Fort Worth.
Oh, okay. Favorite baseball player of all time?
King Griffey Jr.
Gotcha. The kid. All right, last one. I'm gonna try to make this one good. Favorite baseball movie?
Movie?
Yes.
Sandlot.
Okay, that was obvious.
I mean, there's a bunch of good ones, but I think that one.
Well, I think he actually did well. He actually answered quickly, like no one else. I feel like, but I didn't ask you like, what was your life's best advice? I didn't ask you those type of questions. People are like,
best advice: life's tough. Get a helmet.
I love it. All right, man. Well, you're gonna have to, get on the games here soon. So tell the fiance.
Yeah, I know. I need that computer.
That you're a grown up and that you can play video games.
No, I'm going to tell her because she watches that trash TV, The Housewives, and all that.
Oh,
crap.
yeah.
You can watch that. I'm going to go play games. Like this. I'm so tired of this.
Love it. Well, I'm glad we could make this happen, man. I'm glad you brought your perspective of baseball and IT and all this stuff together. And, it's always good having one of my teammates on. And appreciate you guys coming or appreciate you guys watching. Appreciate you guys coming to the show. No. But I guess I'll give you a chance to say, because I had one of my, people on the show was like, I didn't get a chance to say bye. But I do appreciate you having me on the show. I appreciate you answering the fast. I don't even know if I asked 9 questions. But yeah, tell the missus that, thank you for allowing us to have an hour of your time.
No, yeah, I appreciate you having me on, Yeah. And if you're not subscribed, you better subscribe.
Ooh, listen to the man. Listen to the man. He's coming from Texas. He will hack your computer. All right. And he will subscribe for you. No. But no, I appreciate you guys. Make sure you comment about what your favorite piece of tech is. Ooh, that's a good one, right? Subscribe, like, and I want to say thank you to our producer, Josh All. And if you haven't heard or checked in, you don't even have to be a Browns fan. Just come listen to their football talk. I mean, because I'm not a Browns fan at all, but I still enjoy the show. That's the Dogs Podcast. Link will be down in the description. What was Paul about to say? Are you a Cowboys fan, Paul?
Oh, yeah. Big game tonight. We'll see how it goes, but we'll watch.
Yeah. Good luck against the best quarterback ever made. But yeah, Dogs Podcast. What you guys shooting for right now? 3,000 subs? 2,500. We're gonna take it slow. Oh, take it slow, he said. 3,000 subs are going for us. So get over there, sub the Dogs Podcast. I think it should be on one of my channel's tabs. And so I do have a website about the launch. It's going to be having everything. I'm going to have a Discord channel for all pitching instruction. Okay, so if you can't, I don't have enough time, so I can't give one-on-one lessons to everybody, but I'll be posting stuff in there. I might have you in there, Paul, so you can share some stuff too as well. But again, love everybody who watches the show. Make sure you leave a review if you're watching. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or whatever it is. Yeah. Peace.
It feels like Casablanca. Shawty, you my little mama. I got a crib by the water. Say me Casa Su Casa. It feels like Casablanca.